Welcome to Season 3 of John McGivern's Main Streets.
It's a Main Street mania.
The Main Streets podcast takes you behind the scenes of this popular TV program. To watch the show, check your local PBS listings or stream for free on the PBS video app, Roku, Apple TV, smart TVs, and everywhere you stream video. As we explore great communities across the Midwest on the show each week, you can come here to get the inside scoop from hosts John and Emmy and the Main Streets producer and director Lois Maurer. Listen in as they recount some of their favorite memories from the locations and the interesting stories that you won't find anywhere else. We've got a lot to share with you from Season 3. John McGivern's Main Streets, produced by Plum Media in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Hey guys, we're talking Season 3, Episode 3, Grand Rapids, Michigan. I loved it. I loved Grand Rapids. First of all, I loved it only for the way we got there.
Mm-hmm. That was thanks to Emmy Fink.
Emmy, how'd you arrange that?
No, I cannot take credit. Lois said, here's who to call, here's the number. See if, she literally teed it all up for me, and I made one phone call, and the guy remembered talking to both of you in Around the Corner. And so, of course, before I even asked the question, we wouldn't have even had to give him anything. He was saying yes to us before.
That's so nice.
So how did we get there? Let's tell our audience.
We took the high-speed ferry over.
We did.
Yeah, the Lake Express.
That went from Milwaukee to Muskegon, Michigan. Yes?
Right.
And Muskegon, Michigan's only about 35 minutes from Grand Rapids.
Which was great.
Except that we had to get to the Lake Express at 5:15 in the morning. Do you remember that?
5:15 in the morning,
Yeah,
yes.
but I can see it from my house.
Right.
You can,
So that was heaven.
I could not see it from my house. And I brought my whole family with because we went and visited some friends beforehand.
That's right.
Remember? So we all left together, but I show up.
Your husband, your 3 kids, your 9 cousins, you had 47 people on that ferry.
We filled up half of it. Do you remember how, we got out of the car, parking? I've never really been on a ferry where we've taken a vehicle, but we got out of the car, and then I went to go open up the back hatch to get our Clarence's stroller out, and we couldn't get it out. It was like they pack you in there, rightfully so, but
you couldn't get the stroller out?
No.
No.
We crawled back in and got it from the end. It's a whole thing.
It was a good way to get to Grand Rapids. And Grand Rapids is a beautiful city, and a city that I've never. Have you been there before?
No.
Never. I've never been.
I had not either until I went for the site survey with Lance. Lance Miller was the content producer on this. And I will tell you why we chose Grand Rapids. Because when we shot Holland, Michigan the year before, one evening, Lance said to us, hey, let's go to Grand Rapids for dinner at the Tiki Bar. Now, Lance is a big tiki guy, and so we were like, all right, well, we'll go. I'm telling you, it was awesome.
Well, how far did you have to drive? Because set it up. There's
6 hours.
there's so many restaurants in Holland. Was part of you thinking can't we just find a place right down the road?
But you know what? When Lance is so excited about something, you just want to share it with him. And he was so excited to go.
Lois is so nice.
No, it was.
She's so nice.
It was so fun.
John's like, I would never.
I didn't go.
But the atmosphere. Okay, now we go to the Tiki Bar for the show.
I completely
and what do you think?
Get it.
Yeah.
It's the greatest place in the world.
And
it's the biggest collection of those tiki. What do they call them?
like tiki mugs, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
the tiki mugs. Yeah, and
Like in the world.
But even, more than just the mugs, the big pieces that he got at some auction.
Yeah.
And what? The stories behind all those pieces were so cool. And then he's like, oh, do you want to see these mugs being painted and made? Because I just have another entourage back here in this other shed behind the restaurant where they're being made.
Isn't that something?
My wife was very happy when I decided to open this place. What you're seeing is really the largest collection of this kind of stuff anywhere in the world.
And it's museum quality. This place is remarkable.
Well, thank you.
I love that you were influenced by Gilligan's Island.
Oh yeah, I've seen
Because-
every episode.
Remarkable, as I said.
Yes.
But what is Grand Rapids best known for, would you think?
Gerald Ford.
I agree. I totally agree.
So they have his presidential museum there, and we talked to the curator. Is that who it was? Was that her job?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she had just,
Or executive director, perhaps, but
the executive director followed us around, and I think she's the curator.
okay, good.
In charge of all of it. She was great. We had a little problem at the museum because they couldn't get the music off. So, but
Right.
And
our
we can't
audience
shoot
needs to
like
know
that.
that we do
Yeah.
not own rights to music, and if it shows up on television and music is playing that is owned by somebody, we'd be sued or we'd
Well,
have to.
especially by YouTube, right? If it goes on, you know how all of our episodes go up to YouTube, so you can
Right.
watch every single
Yeah.
one of them. If we're someplace shooting an interview and in the background there's a song playing, YouTube automatically can sample stuff and they will flag it and they will take you down.
Sure.
It's like, oh. So we have to, every time we walk into a place where anybody is playing any music, we say, can you please turn the music off?
Right.
It's just such a routine thing that we do. So we
So
walked
we said
in
that to
there.
her,
Yeah.
and she said, "Hold on one second," and she could never get it off.
Oh, no.
Well, think about this museum with all their exhibits.
Right.
Right? And so there's different eras that you walk through. So they use music as a way to create an atmosphere.
Right.
It's nonstop. So that took us a little while. We ended up making it work. We ended up going through some exhibits that we ended up being able to.
And it was
Kinda
in that
shoot
it was
around
in
it.
that park where they had those diving birds.
Oh, yes.
They are right outside by the river. Okay, this is
Yeah.
also by a river. And red-winged blackbirds are not nice birds.
Not when they have their
Nests.
chicks somewhere.
There's a sign on the side that says, be careful, you know, red-winged blackbirds get protective or something like that. Well, our shooter Brian, who wears an easy rig that's got like this, you know, he's a little tall in it, you know, kind of it's got this arm that goes above his head. I don't know, he didn't see the sign. He walked right underneath the trees and no kidding, shoom into his head and they were coming at him and he was freaking out. And I'm like, didn't you see the sign? So poor Brian.
Brian.
And that wasn't the last time it happened, that shoot either.
I mean, when Brian walks around, it looks, we should just set the scene for everyone. It looks like he's got like a great big Oric vacuum.
Yes,
and
it
he's
does.
like ready to like clean an entire building, doesn't it?
Doesn't it look like a
I mean,
vacuum
he
cleaner, a
looks like
leaf
the cleaning
blower?
crew.
It looks like he broke his neck. And that he's got a huge sort of
Neck brace?
something's on that's wrong, and you just want to be like, "Are you okay?" Let's talk about the Gardens and Sculpture Park.
So the other thing Grand Rapids is known for, at least it was to me, it's the home of Meijer stores, M-E-I-J-E-R.
Meijer, that
when
have
they
really
came to
made their way
Wisconsin,
everywhere.
They have.
Everybody called it Meijer.
Meijer?
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
We were like, hey, Meijer's coming to town. And everybody from Michigan was like, you're idiots. That is Meijer. I'm like, oh yeah. So the Frederick and Lena Meijer Sculpture Garden, is it called Gardens and Sculpture? They have
No,
both there, and it is absolutely gorgeously done, and you can't find a bad place to shoot. You can't find anything that's not attractive except when it's raining on you, which is what it was doing when we were there.
I mean, I'm not surprised by this because you walk into a Meijer store and it's like has a different standard of cleanliness. So this all makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
It
they
turns
came
out the husband loved a garden and she loved sculptures. Is
Yeah,
that,
right.
And they came together and created this really beautiful, and what a testament to what appealed to them.
Yeah. So that was really fun to walk around there. We had someone from the garden side, the operations side, and we had someone from the sculpture side who kind of took us. And I could have spent so much more time there, but the weather really was not cooperating with us that day. So good that they have some footage that I'll be able to borrow for the actual episode because it deserves to be seen in all its sunshiny glory because it's really something to see.
Do you remember filming at Fish Ladder Park and what you accidentally did and we didn't realize until we got back into the car? Because I will never forget that.
Oh, please don't tell this story. Please don't tell this story.
What'd you do?
She left the car running with the keys in it. And we walked out and we went and shot. You know, we were only gone. I mean, maybe 5 minutes. That was super
And let's
quick.
be honest, it was 100 degrees outside. Do you remember?
That was nice then for you to do that.
She is making it seem like it was all part of her plan. That's a bunch of malarkey. Okay, it was not part of her plan. She gets back in, she's like, holy, the car's running. I mean, and like there were several people that really, by the looks of them, could have used a nice warm vehicle to leave in. We were kind of shocked it was still there.
I can't believe I did that. Oh my God.
Oh, that's okay.
Don't tell Mary Ann Scafidi from Heiser
No, don't tell
that
her.
I jeopardized her vehicle. But
We don't know how it got stolen. It was running.
And the keys were in it. It really wasn't locked.
We're in it.
I thought you were going to say at Fish Ladder Park, it wasn't spawning season apparently because I sat there with my camera
know.
waiting for a fish to jump up the ladder and nobody was jumping.
I know, especially when my line said like, and you know, if you hit the day right, you'll see all these fish jumping. Well, we didn't see.
Wrong day.
Not a
We
one.
saw nothing.
They're not spawning.
No.
Yeah, so, you know, best laid plans. Oh, well, yeah.
You know how much I love a beautiful old hotel, and this town had it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
the Amway Grand Hotel, built in, I think, the late 1800s, early 1900s, but the Grand Dam of, I'm telling you,
Really?
oh, gorgeous.
The lobby is just stunning.
Yep.
So are there ghosts there in the old part?
People didn't really want to talk about ghosts this season. Have you seen that?
Yeah. I
Have
did
you
notice
recognized
that
in these old hotels. So is there a ghost? No ghosts. They're really serious.
Right, which can I tell you, 10 years ago, I would have said to somebody, is there a ghost? Absolutely. Let me tell you about our ghosts.
I don't know. They're
no?
not
Oh,
ghosts.
no, no ghosts. They must be out. Ghosts are out.
Ghosts
Okay.
are out. I would go back in a minute,
Would you?
and I would take the ferry over there,
Yes.
Yep.
and
Stay at the Amway Grand?
No,
Go to the gardens
no.
for a day?
I would stay at the Drury Inn because for such a sad name, I mean, it really doesn't sound like it would be pleasant. Like, it's a Drury day, you know, the Drury Inn. Can we just talk about, again, we got 2 drink tickets and that entire spread of food that got put out at like the evening.
but you better be there right when it opens.
And
because
you damn well better believe I was. I was like the first person in line, and my drink tickets were like burning a hole in my
I
hand.
gave away all of my drink tickets. Did I give them to you?
Not to
Is
me,
this
but
when I was
thanks a
mean to you?
lot. No. Oh yeah. Can we share that story? This is when I
I
really
was mean
knew.
to my co-host.
This is when I knew John. I mean, maybe not loved me, but like
Loved
he
you.
could tolerate me. I walk in. So I went over with you guys on the ferry the first day. But then, like we said, I was with my family. We went to go visit some friends of ours who have a place in the Canadian Lakes on Lake Mecosta. So it was like, oh, hi, we're going to shoot
They
a
have
little
an
bit.
actual house?
Yes.
I was sure you were in a tent.
It just gets better and better. So we were there for 2 days. I mean, maybe the 3 children had a little bit to do with it. And then we had like a maybe 45-minute drive to the hotel. As we're ready to check in, our room wasn't ready. So we're down trying to keep 3 kids corralled in the lobby waiting. Like I'm trying to give the woman the eye of like, anytime now, like you don't even really have to clean it. Just do a quick like wipe down. Just make sure there's nothing on the sheets. And John walks in and he goes, wow, you look like shh. And of course, you know, I have seen better days, no makeup, glasses, my hair's not done, not how he
I
typically
didn't even
sees
know
me.
it was you.
He didn't. I'm like waving.
You
He's
have
like
no
looking
idea
right by. I'm
what
like,
joy that brought me, Emmy. It was joyous that you look like crap. I loved it. I was like, oh, that it really broke. It really was heaven.
Oh,
it was like, look at her
love-
with her glasses on and her hair all pulled back and looking just
like what?
still pretty, still attractive, but in a way
look
that
at
was
he's
like,
just saying a bunch of
I loved it.
crap. No, you're sweet.
You know that you have arrived when he feels like he can be that honest with you, girl.
What do I say to you?
Put a little eyeliner on, for God's sake.
The day after you were at a funeral.
Yeah.
That's like the craziest
Well, I wanted to help her. Have you ever heard of lipstick glow?
Right.
Hold on one second, you guys. We're going to cut right here. Hi, this is John.
John's back from his phone call, so we can continue.
Sorry.
We're leaving. I told Bailey she should keep the phone ringing in, and then hey guys, I got to take this.
Yeah. And me and Emmy going, cast aside again.
There he goes.
I'm so sorry.
The segment that you guys do together in this episode was at a place called Brewery Vivant. And the reason I loved it so much in the site survey is because when you walked in there, didn't it not feel like you were in a brewery?
Well, it was an old funeral home.
Which I thought was a church.
Looked like a church.
Yeah, I thought it was a church and I was wrong.
Right. But no ghosts there either.
Right.
Right.
Right. So we went in there, and you had, what did you have to drink?
I said, pour me any beer, because I've never met a beer I didn't like except the NAs. And you said, make me a foo-foo drink.
With no alcohol.
I did not say make me a foo-foo drink. That's what you just heard.
That's what you
I'd
interpreted.
love to hear what you hear come out of my mouth. That never really does.
What did you say?
Do you have a non-alcoholic drink?
You said
Did
make it
foo-foo?
a...
I've never said foo-foo in my life.
You might not have said it, but you thought it.
Did you say it? Did you say, like, I think because she brought the beer over to me. And then somebody said,
Oh no! And then she brought it to me, and remember, I was like,
yeah, she's like, who? Yeah, whose goes to who? I'm like,
I was like, take a guess, Missy.
You're right. I probably said it. The foo-foo drink goes to him.
Right.
I'll take the beer.
You had the beer, and I had this drink that was like, it was so sour. I was
That's
like,
because it didn't have the rum in it that it was supposed to.
was
Right.
like,
It was
wow.
probably just sweet.
and then they served us their house specialty, which was nachos, which I was like, nachos is your house specialty? Until it was duck confit.
There was a lot of voo on those.
It was a fancy nacho.
Yes, not something you would guess to find at a bar. I
Right,
mean, right?
because Brewery Vivant is all structured around the French, right? And it had something to do with the whole ales things. You remember them talking to you about how they brewed it?
I do. Oh gosh.
Don't you remember you were like, qu'est-ce que c'est argenté? I was like, what is she talking about? Confit.
Does this happen to you? Like when you leave, if you had to say back one
I
of
don't
your
know your
stand-ups?
name right now. Does this happen to me? People say, where were you? I have no idea. Did you just get home yesterday? I can't remember where we were, though.
So true. It's just like, it's in and you got it, and then it's like,
Gone.
And between all of us, I don't know if any of us in that van, as we said, we shoot with what we call our geriatric crew. I think I'm the youngest person on the crew, and I will just say, I am 57.
Well, you're just a little older than us.
What?
Why are you doing this? What is the purpose of this right now? Geriatric, you've used the word 3 times. We've only been here an hour.
Because I want them to understand where we come from, why our
Can we
memories
take a break? I gotta go to the bathroom again.
and take another phone call.
So we need to have a shout out to our friend.
Yes.
So this episode, Grand Rapids, we want to thank Beth Brink from Benton Harbor, Michigan, because she is active on our social pages. So thank you, Beth. And
Benton Harbor has got to be on our list. I want to go
Lois,
there.
I was just going to say it.
Yeah.
good seeing you guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye, John.
Bye.
Bye.
Want to wear something that's going to support your favorite show? Shop at Main Street Store. Proceeds go to help us get next season into production, so come on, go shopping at mainstreets.tv.